Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Adam Dorsey, a psychologist in Silicon Valley, and I am the host of SuperPsyched, a podcast dedicated to supercharging your life. Each episode contains fun, high-quality interviews with experts looking at psychology from all angles. SuperPsyched is your tool to get more of what you want in your life and less of what you don't. Hello, SuperPsyched listeners. May marked 12 months since my very first SuperPsyched episode, and I wanted to take a moment to do something I said I would do all along, which is basically a SuperPsyched solo episode. It's going to be short, just kind of giving you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes access to how this happened and some common questions I get asked. And just to mark this 1 year, there have been 66 episodes so far, and it has been such a blast. Basically, SuperPsyched was born right when COVID hit. COVID hit, and the first thing I did was get very anxious and scared. And I thought to myself, well, what can I do? And knowing that trying to find something meaningful to pursue in the midst of all of these unknowns might help me and might help others, I created some YouTube videos talking about ways to apply self-care and to reduce anxiety during COVID. And the feedback I got was overwhelmingly positive. Shortly thereafter, I was having a conversation with my father who said, start a podcast. And I thought to myself, hey, I've kind of always wanted to do that. I'm not driving my children to school. And I've been living by this dictate of COVID has been by no means the opportunity I wanted, but it's the opportunity that I have. And how might I channel some of this energy into something really positive with all of these unknowns? And I thought, well, now's the time to start this in the hopes that it will be helpful to a large number of people. And it will be lots of fun to speak with people I've always wanted to speak with. So I came up with the name SuperPsyched, which had many meanings. Of course, my nickname in high school, many of you might know, it was Enthusiasm, and SuperPsyched is kind of an outshoot of that. I often say I'm super psyched to do something, but it also implies super psychological education. Psych education is kind of psych ed is something that we do as psychologists. We give out education. So this was kind of something I wanted to give to the public. So SuperPsyched was a great name for it. Found some music, bought the rights to it, and began to produce these episodes, kind of coming up with a format, all these things I'd never really thought of doing before. And as you might imagine, no pursuit is done entirely alone. I ran things by my wife, who is also a great psychologist and has been an amazing behind the scenes source of support. She listens to every episode, kind of peer reviews it for me, make sure it was on point. My buddy, David Gertner, amazing human being, listens to my stuff, often edits my written material. Brilliant human being. How did I get so lucky to get a friend like him? And Paul Barr from Peachtree Sound has been the editor of my dreams. Just stumbled upon him during a Google search, and it was an instant love connection, a bromance from here to Atlanta. So I've been really fortunate in this pursuit. And before I'd even had episode 1, I wrote out a long list of my dream guests. I probably came up with 60 or so people. And I gotta tell you, the vast majority of those people have been on the show. And people sometimes ask me, how do you get these guests? And the secret sauce is simply this. I ask. That's it. I ask. And sometimes I don't get a yes. Sometimes I get no response, but very often I get a yes. And then I get to geek out with some of the smartest, most inspiring people in the world. And if somebody's going to come onto my show, I will get to know them very well. I will read their book. I'll listen to their book if it's on Audible. I will listen to other interviews with them and do my research so that I can provide you, the listener, with the highest quality interview possible from a voice who's informed about my guest, but also to show my guest, hey, you're giving me the gift of your time. That's a big deal. I will take great interest in your work and let you know that I've gotten to know your work. Some other things, some people have asked me, how long does it take to create an episode? And I would say that each episode on average has about 10 hours, sometimes more, sometimes less. But on average, each episode takes about 10 hours. And then people ask me, well, isn't that exhausting? You have a full practice. The great news is I love my work as a psychologist. My work does not tire me. And I love my work as a podcaster. It doesn't tire me either. Sure, it takes time, it takes energy, but it's so challenging and so meaningful to me. And again, those two words, challenging and meaningful, which are the predictors of flow, it gives me at least as much energy back as it takes, so to speak. So I get really jazzed. I get really energized. I hope you can feel that through the interviews themselves. These people with whom I get to have these conversations, sometimes I can't even believe it that they're happening. They get me smarter in the process. And I'm just so grateful to everyone who's been on the show so far. It's been amazing. If you've listened to a few interviews, I recommend that you scroll through the list. I scrolled through the list today of all 66 episodes. You know, it just got this kind of reminiscence of like, wow, I got to talk to all these people and you get to listen to them if you want. There are many people you've heard of and there are many people you might not have heard of. And all of them have been basically chosen by me because they're awesome. People have asked me, how do you choose your guests? And the answer to that is very simple. I invite people with one sole criterion. Their work has to inspire me and get me really excited. So you can see that I'm covering a very broad spectrum of interest. Everything from relationships to autism to ADHD, all the way to coffee and ice cream and sports and anything else that might be of any interest whatsoever. I've spoken to a former neo-Nazi. I've spoken to the Stanford researcher, Phil Zimbardo, who created this prison experiment. Steve Kerr, the Warriors head coach, has been on. It's been a very, very vast array of people with incredible areas of expertise, and geeking out to them is just way too much fun. Some people have asked me, how can I help or support the podcast? And the answer is very simple. Listen, share, rate it if you haven't already, preferably on iTunes, because that's the platform that most people listen to. More than 50% of listeners go to iTunes. So the more ratings it has and the higher the rating, the greater the likelihood this podcast will continue to succeed. And interact with me. Send me emails. Let me know what you think. And if you have any people that you think I should interview, let me know that too. Of course, if you're able to broker introductions, that always helps as well. So feel free to send me an email and let me know what's on your mind with regard to episodes so far or people you think should come onto the show. So I'm looking forward to this next year and many more. This is just way too fun. And thanks so much for listening. Without you, obviously, this would not be a podcast. This would just be me making recordings. So thank you so much for your part in SuperPsyched. This is Dr. Adam Dorsey thanking you for listening to SuperPsyched. If you know anyone who might like it or who might benefit from listening, share it. And if you like the episode, please hit subscribe.